My name is Hamid Khan. I am the Deputy Director for the Rule of Law Collaborative at the University of South Carolina. I recently authored a study at the United States Institute of Peace regarding the intersection of customary law, Islamic law, and informal justice in Afghanistan. The questions raised about informal justice in Afghanistan raise the concerns about the rights of women and how disputes are resolved. At the same time, there has been a broad-based discussion about the role that Islamic law plays in that dispute resolution process. So this study, which looked at dispute resolution processes in two different provinces, one a primarily Pashtun background and one a mixed and more heterogeneous population, asked the question about what role Islamic law plays in the resolution of disputes at the local level. Customary law plays an important role in Afghanistan, but it also plays a varied role that is decided by the participants and by those individuals who look at and have authority in their respective areas. When examining the question of Islamic law, however, we found that there was an important lack of information understanding and that much of customary law is often confused with Islamic law. Perhaps the greatest area where the study found discrepancies was the issue about women's rights, in particular their property rights and the lack of inheritance, as well as marriage and contracts that stem from that. Now, through the course of this varied study and through various interviews in remote areas of Afghanistan, we were able to learn that Pashtunwali, the customary law of the Pashtuns, actually plays a decided role in the rights of women and in the process of resolving disputes. At the same time, however, Islamic law offers an alternative for many women in local areas to achieve and to restore many of their rights. So this discussion also looked at the role of religious leaders as actors in the dispute resolution process. As it turns out, many religious leaders do not play a role or are asked not to play a role in many of those important questions, especially as they affect women. Through the course of the study, we also learned that there were various differences between a majority Pashtun population and those where they played a more minority role. And in those areas where they were less of a majority, Islamic law predominated. The focus of the study was to examine the issue of informal justice and Islamic law, keeping in mind that Islamic law is considered the supreme law of the land in Afghanistan, but for most Afghans is out of reach. And so the question arises whether or not Islamic law can play a more constructive role for ascertaining and maintaining the rights of these individuals.